John, you're getting background noise.
RTTV is brought to you by ExpressVPN. Protect your online privacy today by heading to expressvpn.com/RTTV. You should be using a VPN, and it should be this one because it helps us out. We appreciate that.
Oh, hello. Welcome
Whoa!
to the Death
What's
Metal
up?
Cast.
Yeah, put that cup of coffee down, Ben.
I clearly I have work to do. It's time to get to work, everybody. Welcome to the Death Metal Cast, the show where we argue about nonsense and have a lot of fun with it. I'm Ben, of course, joined by Chad as usual. What's up, Chad?
Hey, everybody.
And then there's Liam, voice of Liam.
Hey, everybody, how you doing?
We are joined by a very special guest today. Super excited to have on the show. It's John Francis McCullough.
Whoa! Oh,
Who the hell am I?
Well, okay, for one thing, some of you might recognize John, but I will let John explain who he is and what he's doing here. So what are you doing here, John?
Long story short, I used to work with you guys. I made this fun show called The Industry with Sean Bolin over at Game Attack before he was Game Attack, and I was actually an editor on Death Battle for a while and Desk of Death Battle. I was actually Desk of Death Battle's first editor, and I did some motion capture with Torian for some of those first 3D Death Battles. And today I am here because some people who do know me know I've always wanted to become a feature film director. And I've actually finally shot my first feature film. It's an action comedy. It's super low budget, but I think you'll see in a moment when we show the trailer that it looks pretty damn good. We're currently in the process of funding on Indiegogo for post-production costs. We're currently at $9,000 raised. The overall goal is a little lofty, but if we can get to 50% of our goal, I mean, that covers all the post-production fees. And yeah. Benny said he wanted to show the trailer, so I think I'll let the trailer speak for itself on the plot of the film.
Yes. Before we get to the trailer, I will say we also have a community death battle coming up. John will be participating, fittingly repping John Wick against Liam, who will be arguing for Punisher. That's right.
Yeah.
We're doing Punisher
Franklin
versus John
Castle.
Wick.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Good old Frank.
To elaborate a little bit more on John, John is a humongous action fan, and also a stuntman himself and martial artist, and a man of more talents than you knew existed in the world. The longer you know John, he will continually pull out something. It's like, oh yeah, no, I can pick a lock, and you're like, what? It's like, oh yeah, no, I can juggle. Oh yeah, no, I learned how to speak this language over the weekend, and it's just like the man collects hobbies and talents like Pokemon. It's amazing. Yes. Obviously he's been a friend of ours for a very long time, and when we moved down to Austin, it didn't work out for John to uproot his whole life, so he was the one that stayed behind, and I was very sad about that. So yeah, we have an opportunity to help our friend show off his cool film for something he's been aspiring to forever. Hell yeah, we're gonna do that. So give him all the love and support, guys.
Yeah, if you clicked on this if you're watching this on YouTube and you clicked on it because in the thumbnail you see John Wick and Punisher, like I have a feeling you're gonna like what's in this film. So let's go ahead and check out that trailer for Denny.
Does he know where it is?
Yes, you may have to sweet talk it out of him.
I need the device. Where is it?
Johnny Mai was in way over his head.
If you get it, I'm already dead. We're all dead. Don't you understand that?
Lucky for him, he's about to make a new friend.
My name's Owen Flynn. Oh, I'm here to help you.
How can I trust you're trying to help?
You may be able to turn one of Frost's newest recruits.
Johnny, I need to talk to you.
His psych profile suggests he could be brought to reason and used against Frost.
We're not only throwing me in all by myself, but you want me to get this young man killed in the process.
He's looked nervous before, but he's never backed down.
Didn't back down. He took the processor. The only one!
We need a specialist.
Great, good to see you.
What the hell is this about now, Owen?
We need to know what this device is.
What the hell are we dealing with?
We're dealing with the Denny.
An actual doomsday device. Like a big space laser or something.
You think this is funny?
We finally have it.
Frost has wanted this thing for a long time. He's gonna kill a lot of people with it.
outnumbered, and outgunned, they'll have to team up to take them down.
Appreciate the pep talk. We're probably gonna die here. So if we can get our shit together and go now, it'd be real nice.
In order for you to stop me, you need to get through all of my warriors. But to accomplish my goal, all I have to do is flip this switch.
Owen! We need that case!
I didn't sign up for this job thinking it'd be easy.
With time running out and no backup coming, the fate of the world is in their hands.
Your objectives: turn Johnny Mai into an ally, secure the unknown device, and capture international terrorist Matthias Frost.
From Spectrograph Films.
You're probably gonna get your ass kicked.
There's something to look forward to, at least.
Dead Hand.
Every time, Owen. Every goddamn time.
That trailer.
That's amazing.
It's such a fun little Easter egg for anyone who has like followed Screw Attack for a long time. Because the narrator,
familiar faces.
Yeah, the narrator is Parker, who used to work at Screw Attack. You saw Angel, the director of Awesome, from SGC. Daniel Vincent Galvin is playing Mr. Gray, he's a part of their Werewolf/Theirwolf Media, who's helped some death metal tracks. Of course, John and Grayson from Game Attack. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, Daniel's also composing the music for the entire film.
It's fantastic. Yeah, if you watching this, remember Wings of Iron, the amazing
my favorite death metal track.
Track that we did for or that Werewolf did for Optimus versus Gundam. That was his voice of that track.
Yeah,
doing that amazing ballad. Yeah, incredible. If you're just tuning in live and you're confused what's going on, this is John Francis McCullagh.
Hello.
This is a movie that he's been working on. You can support it now by going to Dead Hand's page on Indiegogo. This page is going to be up through Saturday, so be sure to check it out. Throw him some love, give him some support. We really love what he's doing here, and we really want to see John succeed because he totally deserves it, and he's an amazing guy.
Thank you so much.
So please go check it out. There's a link right there.
Wow, so fancy.
Yeah, we got you covered, man. All right. And also, we're gonna have if you're not convinced that this is something you should support, we will have a sneak peek at a fight scene, exclusive fight scene here on Death Battle Cast later on today in the show from Dead Hand. All right, but we need to get into our community death battle.
Yeah, of course,
because that's super important.
Whoa.
Woo!
Throwing everybody off today. All right, so let's talk about Punisher versus John Wick. Liam will be arguing for Punisher. John will be repping John Wick, naturally. And it's their job to convince the jury to vote for their respective character through any means necessary on who would win a death battle. And the jury consists of 3 seats. It's me, that's Chad, and that's you. Me, Chad, and you. That's the way to do it. And if you're listening to the audio version of this, you have no idea what I just did. Anyway, and if you're watching this live, you can vote in the chat. We already have the poll up. You can type #1 on mobile for Punisher, #2 for John Wick, or just click it if you're watching this on PC. And we will be discussing throughout the episode and find out who is going to win. But this isn't a courtroom. We're all part of the conversation, including you all watching this live. So chime in, and that obviously goes for everybody here as well. So
speaking of chiming in, Ben, Cypher Overhorse says, "No, John's the guy who came up with stomach animals of all the references, the obscure references."
Wow,
to dig up. Way to go.
That's my.
Oh my god.
And elbow
stomach animals. I can't believe I forgot about those.
I don't even get that reference. That one flew right over my head.
Yeah, it's
John's also a weird guy.
So everybody has a spirit animal, right? But some people, probably more people, have stomach animals. At least according to the mind of John Francis.
Yeah, instead of like having an actual stomach, you have like an animal that connects between your esophagus and your butthole.
Yeah,
and it can crawl out of your stomach, and like you have like a telepathic link with it.
Right.
Kind of like a daemon from like Historic Materials.
Yeah.
But
it's in your digestive system.
It can come in and out, yeah.
Yeah. It sits around in your large intestine.
If you're busy gaming, you can go sit in your stomach and we'll go snack on things and then come back inside you and you'll be nourished.
Yeah. How does it enter you, by the way?
It's like a mouth on your stomach.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Okay,
good.
Liam,
I
it
was
gets
worried.
more horrific the more questions you ask. So,
Yeah, I'm just letting this go. Like, do you have any more questions, Liam? All right. Well, Liam, let's get started with Punisher and kick it off with you. Do you have an opening statement?
Of course I do. No, I don't. Just skip me. No, of course I do. Frank Castle, the Punisher from Marvel Comics. He is one of Marvel's best assassins. I think what separates him, because John Wick, seemingly is the same kind of character. He's also an assassin. He's his universe's like greatest assassin or one of them. But the difference is in their universes. John Wick's world is ostensibly very, very similar to ours, while Frank Castle's assassinations take place in a world full of superheroes. He fights superheroes all the time. He is fighting simply a much higher caliber of opponent, and everything about him, his physical abilities, his skill, his arsenal matches that. It just completely blows John Wick out of the water in every conceivable way. John Wick is a peak human. Frank Castle is a comic book peak human, which means that he is blatantly and completely superhuman.
Time.
And I know my fun statement is John Wick better change his name to Jack Shit, because that's all he's doing.
Wow, you really wow.
Yeah.
You really wanted to get the insult in there.
I did. I didn't know I was about to wrap it up. Thank you.
Wouldn't that work better if his name was Jack?
Well, John and Jack are like one of those kind of similar interconnected names.
But they're not the same. Anyway,
well, it's like how Richard and Dick are. Richard and Dick are like Dick is like a shortened version of Richard.
There we go. Now John gets the timer.
There we
All
go.
right, I get the timer. All right.
But you have plenty of time. What's your opening statement for John Wick?
Okay. Is that included in the time? Okay, here we go. All right, so John Wick, while living in a world of humans and not comic book heroes and villains, when he comes out of a 5-year retirement where he doesn't throw a single punch or kick or shoot a gun, which we know are perishable skills, across the course of like 10 days or so, kills 374 people. And most of those are headshots or shots directly to the heart. That is insane accuracy for a perishable skill. Now imagine him in his prime. This is a world teeming with assassins. I mean, the end shot of the second film, every other person is an assassin, and he is still revered as the best one. Now, I know Frank Castle goes up against X-Men and the like and all that stuff, but accuracy is accuracy. If you can die from a shot to the head, John Wick is going to shoot you in the head.
I love it.
Throwing you to the ground.
Perfect.
Oh my God. That's amazing.
Dude, coming out the gate with the body count. That was great.
That's really amazing, John.
10 days and how many people?
374.
Oh my God. Okay, something I do want to point out that you mentioned. He, like, the point of the films is that not the point, but at the point in the films, he is past his prime. That's kind of the purpose. He's coming out of retirement after several years of not doing any of this, and he's able to jump back into it. With a death battle, we do have to consider his prime as well, similar to what we did with All Might. All Might is a weird comparison, but he's kind of in the same boat where he's past his prime throughout My Hero, right? And then while we did Might, we investigated what he might be like in the prime of his career. So we kind of have to do the same with John, I feel.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Cody, could you bring up image number 1?
Oh,
we're talking about like a standoff. Who has the faster draw speed? It's not that middle section there. That's Frank Castle. He's pulling his gun. What's that weird thing in the background for reference?
Yo, you're gonna clock him at lightning speed.
It's a lightning bolt. Wow, that's crazy. Oh my God, he pulled up his gun faster than a lightning bolt could reach the ground. That's awesome. And here's the thing, it's not at all inconsistent for Marvel Street tier characters. Plenty of them have explicitly reacted within microseconds, reacted to lightning. He's fought characters like Deadpool. He fought Daredevil, Spider-Man, and Wolverine at the same time. And each of them had... Spider-Man does nanosecond reaction time stuff. So if anybody is getting shot first, it's going to be John Wick. Punisher is going to blow his head off before John Wick's. The neurons in his brain fire off to perceive what's going on. And that's a literal statement because it's carried by electricity, which we know Punisher can fire faster than.
Okay, hey, hi, Sam here. Talking about ExpressVPN. Using the internet without ExpressVPN is like, I don't know, checking your baggage at the airport without putting a lock on or anything like that. Like, you have no idea who's going through your stuff. You think it might be safe, but you cannot be certain of that. That's what it's like when you go online without a VPN. Anyone could be accessing your data. Your ISP can see every site that you visit, even if you're in an incognito mode. And not to mention they can all legally sell the information that they get from everywhere you visit to other companies. But ExpressVPN encrypts your data to the maximum protection. This anonymizes your identity, and your ISPs can't spy on your digital footprint anymore. And ExpressVPN is extra easy to use. Just open the app, click the single button. Plus, it works on all your devices, so you can use it on, your phones too, which is super, super helpful because although, you can say whatever you want about your home system, when you're on a random Starbucks Wi-Fi, trust me, use ExpressVPN, okay? So, just open the app with a single button. Like I said, super easy. Phone, laptop, you can even put it on your router, okay? So yeah, I mean, ExpressVPN is awesome. I cannot mention it enough for, like, any public Wi-Fi you go to. It is a great idea, right? So secure your online activity by visiting expressvpn.com/dbc today. That is expressvpn.com/dbc, and you can get an extra 3 months free. That's expressvpn.com/dbc. Go check it out. Support the things that support us. We appreciate it, and get your phone all safe so you can go to that Starbucks and enjoy looking at your weird memes with peace of mind.
I don't know, man. Like each John Wick film, he kills almost double the amount of the previous film. So over the course of 10 days, he's getting back in the groove. I could kill
more ants.
Imagine him in his prime.
I could kill more ants than John Wick ever could, and that's just what they are relative to the people that Punisher fights. Ants. Punisher, I almost said John Wick. Punisher has a gun which was able to blow the Hulk through a brick fucking wall. And
Did he grow that gun out of his arm? I mean, that's
actually
John Wick could pick that same gun up and use it too.
Actually, he does have a symbiote suit that allows him to grow guns out of his arm.
Now, does that count as the Punisher or as an added weapon?
The Punisher is defined by his arsenal, which he has collected over years, decades now, essentially. He has a truck full of stuff. He has stuff like a replica of Captain America's shield. He has a single Dr. Octopus arm. He has Hank Pym's shrinking helmet. Yeah, just one. He only needs one. 4 would be excessive. He would just be Dr. Ock at that. Dr. Ock.
This brings up an interesting point. Go ahead, John.
Yes.
Imagine if John Wick got a hold of even half of the Punisher's arsenal. In the films, John Wick mainly uses handguns, which are less accurate than rifles.
Yes.
And he's still getting pinpoint accuracy. Imagine if he had some of, Punisher, if he was put into the street and was able to disarm even one of Punisher's enemies that have more advanced weapons, to use it against the Punisher. I mean, John Wick is quick to learn a gun real fast. He put together an old style, hip shooting revolver in like 15 seconds in the films, just to get one shot off. Like he is adept at figuring out weapons.
Was able to hit some dude straight in the chest. He was on a boat, moving on a boat over 300 yards away, and was able to hit him dead in the chest. And didn't even like take time to aim. He just went boom and dunzo. So definitely, yeah.
I think that there's an interesting point here that we do need to cover. And Dude Blake in the chat kind of mentioned as well how it seems like Punisher probably does have a bigger body count and also has stronger foes. Well, there's the big difference between these two characters that I think we need to address is one of them has been around for a lot longer and is in a world that provides him with weaponry that would never exist in John's world and could potentially be like sci-fi, essentially, right?
Yeah.
But
those are called advantages.
How strictly do we stick to the idea that Punisher has theoretical access to weapons that are of that caliber? He's not necessarily carrying all these weapons into this fight, and he's not necessarily planning to. This isn't like, you know, a prep time sort of situation where he can like find out who John Wick is, bring in the right weaponry to take him down, including the giant rocket launcher that can blow up the Hulk or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So how far do we allow that sort of thing to influence this fight? Because I'm of the opinion that this fight should just be them with the most basic
Standard
weapons
kit.
they can have.
Yeah.
Which I think removes and you mentioned that Punisher's arsenal is what makes the Punisher, and I want to ask about that, because how important do you think a broad arsenal is to the Punisher being the Punisher?
What's his everyday carry?
I think
it doesn't make sense to bring him in with a simpler arsenal.
I think bare naked, butt cheeks out, Punisher, Frank Castle snaps John Wick in half like a licorice stick. Actually, licorice stick.
John Wick feels like a snake.
Okay, so it seems like what this battle now is John Wick with his guns versus bare naked Punisher. Let's go.
Yeah. Okay.
But Buddy Biggs in the chat says, didn't John pull a gun before a flash went off in John Wick Hex? So that might be comparable for the speed.
What is John Wick
Cypher is
Hex?
also talking about John Wick surviving falling off a building.
Oh, let's see.
He did survive falling off a building.
Punisher has survived falling 60 stories off a building. So as a comparison,
Yeah, but did he like land on a car?
You land on the car, you land on the concrete.
It's difference.
That's only a movie thing where landing on the car breaks.
Also, did we not tell you can only use Netflix Punisher?
Hang on. John Wick has a video game, John Wick Hex, and he was able to move faster than a camera flash.
It's like they went to like take a picture and he had a gun out before, like when they were clicking it. I guess is
that's not necessary. I would need to see that as evidence for like the light beams.
It almost
or are we talking about the light
possible.
beams, or are we talking about like just the mechanism in the camera? That's not even close to the same thing. That is not even remotely.
I mean, I don't know. It sounds like based on the information that we're getting, he moved faster than a
It sounds like we need to find any way to nerf Punisher, but let's do it. Let's do it. So John Wick has guns, right? Well, Punisher has blatantly dodged bullets, like after they've been fired. He also, I just wanted to show, this isn't the most impressive strength feat that Punisher has, but I wanted to include it because, Cody, could you pull up image 2? Because it was hilarious.
We have a guest, Liam. We have a guest, and you pulled out comic panels, dude.
Look,
Liam
here we go.
To play.
Here we go.
He punched out a polar bear?
He punched out a Look at that polar bear's face. That polar bear doesn't know what the fuck just happened.
Question. Is this polar bear from a zoo?
This polar bear, I don't know.
No, this is great.
It's a fucking polar bear.
He doesn't know. A polar bear growing up and living its life in a zoo is not going to have the same tenacity as a polar bear from the wild.
What the fuck does tenacity have to do with it? It's a fucking polar bear with
Well, what he's saying is like the polar bear wouldn't be on guard. Like if it was in the wild, it'd be on guard. Be like, yo, human's probably gonna fuck with me. Polar bear in the zoo is just like, oh, it's another human, and then he just claws me on the jaw.
What are we talking about? What are we talking about?
What we're talking about, Liam, is that I think all of us are in agreement that John Wick could also punch out a polar bear if it was from
He
the zoo.
absolutely could not. What? Okay. What strength feat does John Wick have?
He constantly breaks people's necks with the punch.
Can he beat
in the
a human being? Its neck is this thick. A polar bear's neck is like that thick. What are you talking about? What are you talking
He's not breaking the polar bear's neck. He's just punching him out.
Yeah. A domesticated dog is going to be way safer than a wild dog.
That's
Same
fine.
with the polar bear.
That's completely fine. That's completely fine. That's completely fine. That's completely fine.
You have a third image?
That's completely fine.
Yes, it does.
I mean, I have tons of images. The third image is. I mean, unfortunately,
we had
to where we have the rule. Here's the third image. Here's the third image. Just bring up the third image. We already took away the rule of Punisher's arsenal.
Christ.
Yeah. So what's John Wick gonna do to that? Nothing. He's gonna get fucking blown up. Okay. So In terms of strength feats,
I don't know. John would hit it with a car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I swear to God, people in the chat are going to vote for John Wick just based on this utter horseshit.
Now that you have said that, they absolutely will.
Yeah, they absolutely.
Yeah, you could get a horse to kick it.
He's going to get a horse to kick it. John Wick is going to
get a horse to kick it in the shins, and then a car to hit it in the front, and then the car explodes.
The Punisher
all
is
cars
going
explode with a shot.
Breathe is going to use that back to fucking breathe in John Wick's general direction and then blow him up.
And Bodman Beast in the chat says it's a zoo bear and it just pissed the bear off.
Oh, so he did come out. Oh!
Yeah, punching a bear is different than knocking it out. Punching is just stupid. That kind of shows some of the Punisher's intelligence, don't you think?
Liam.
What are you talking about? What are you gonna? What is this random person in the chat making shit up? Okay, let's also go to the Punisher. By the way, we haven't heard anything about John Wick in a while. I'm just gonna say, has John Wick survived machine gun fire against his chest? No, the Punisher has. His suit is entirely.
I'm pretty sure he has in the second film when he's going through the catacombs. He gets shot.
Pretty sure. You're the researcher.
You got images. We got full-length films.
Take
Bring
those
it back,
images.
Liam.
Yeah, take a deep breath, Liam.
Yeah.
But again, like John said earlier, he's not going to shoot him in the chest. Most likely, he's going to shoot him in the head.
And
that's true.
And Punisher is going to dodge. He has dodged bullets before. I didn't prepare this one for Cody, but I do have it if you want it. If you don't believe me that he's a bullet.
Here's
he obviously is.
Has the
There you go,
Punisher
Cody. If you want to share that.
You got
a bullet from a gun that's point blank in his face, because that's one of John Wick's tactics.
What? Shooting someone in the face? What if Punisher shoots him in the face if they're that close? We know Punisher.
Well, we'd have to get him on the ground and grapple first. John Wick's specialty is grappling.
Yeah. Okay. Punisher has. Okay. Here we go.
Has he mastered like a million martial arts, like every comic book hero?
Yes. He has.
Yeah.
He has.
Oh my God.
Let me try and. Oh, I'm at the wrong page. Here. Let me get the list up for you.
Wait, was that the wrong page that came up? What are you talking about?
I was looking at his Arsenal page.
Take a breath.
I was looking at his Arsenal page. Okay, he's highly adept in American-style CQC, so basically what John Wick knows. Muay Thai, Krav Maga, Sistema, Ninjutsu, Shorin Ryu Karate, Hwarang-do, Chin Na, and Nash Ryu Jiu-Jitsu, which is his martial art of choice.
I wonder how many of these comic book artists actually know in depth about these styles, or if they just think the name is cool.
Yeah, I know, right?
DJ
Tiki says, "What about Fortnite, John Wick?"
I was just about to bring that up. So so if we are expanding Punisher throughout all the comics,
no, we're not.
John doesn't have a lot of stuff to pull from. So
I'm only talking about 616.
We've got
I'm talking about naked John Wick right now. Okay. Oh, if we want to,
you know who was in Fortnite that everybody could hurt? Galactus.
Oh, okay. Let's talk about Fortnite, because we can expand Frank Castle. We can expand him to Cosmic Ghost Rider. Remember the time that he was the Ghost Rider? Yeah, and he was a herald of. He fought Thanos. Thanos at the time, who had murdered Galactus easily. Just.
Yeah, but he doesn't have those powers anymore.
Yeah,
you mean
John Wick doesn't show up in Fortnite with powers of cosmic.
You were the one that wanted to bring up Fortnite. I'm bringing this up as a comparison.
What I'm saying is John Wick enters Fortnite as John Wick, not Punisher enters another universe as a fucking Herald of Galactus or whatever, or Ghost Rider.
I don't think he actually lost those powers either.
Here's the thing.
It's just a different universe.
Good John Wick.
The Punisher comics, not the Ghost Rider comics.
Yeah.
What? Huh?
Why are they still the Punisher comics and not the Ghost Rider comics? If he still has
it's a different comic line. There's a comic line that's called Cosmic Ghost Rider.
I have a question. Do we think that John Wick could figure out like how to get in Frank Castle's head, like how to fuck with him and be like, bring up his family and all that stuff? I know they'd actually probably bond over it, but maybe it can throw him off. Because
I think the end result would be like a Mortal Kombat, friendship. At the end of it, they'd marvel at each other's marksmanship and martial arts skill and be like, you know what, you're not a bad guy.
Punisher probably has like a dead dog gun that he would shoot at John Wick. Just knowing his arsenal, there's probably
that's just gonna make John Wick stronger.
It's just gonna make him more enraged, which is when he makes all of his mistakes. It's when he fucks up in those movies that he gets when he gets.
I don't know, it's kind of hard to see when John Wick, messes up. He's kind of. He's kind of super focused. That's kind of his whole shtick is.
Yeah, but
he's
he
a man of
has
focus.
been caught. I remember in the first movie when he was like facing off against those mobsters and he was like hiding behind the car and he like did eventually get captured. I mean, he escaped because they did the thing where it's like, I'll tie you up and then, let you die by some other thing than just me shooting you in the head.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
he's not perfect.
he makes
He's not
mistakes
perfect.
when people get the jump on him who know who he is. Like Punisher's not going to know who he is.
I mean, there's nothing special about John Wick that you need to like, whose weakness is this. It's just he's a guy that's really good at killing people. So if you he's not perfect, he's still human. So if you overwhelm him, it wasn't that they knew something specific about John Wick. They just knew that it was an assassin. They treat him the same as if he was any other assassin. They'd probably just be more careful about it. But there was no like
that.
There was no prep work that there was no like, oh, we brought kryptonite bullets for Superman thing. So,
oh my God, Chad! I'm looking at that GIF.
Yeah. Let's talk some speed here. I just dropped the GIF. I don't know if Cody's gonna be able to pull it up, but it's pretty amazing.
You can't bring up speed feats as more impressive than feats that I brought up that are more impressive than that one. The faster than lightning.
He
what are you talking
disappears.
about?
Look, he's gone.
Teleports.
That's okay. You want to treat it like
Teleportation is faster than lightning.
This teleportation is not. He disappeared in one frame. This film is being framed in 30 frames per second, I assume. It's YouTube probably. So that would be.
It's a film. It's 24.
24. Great. So even slower. So 1/24th of a second. So he moves out of frame in 1/24th of a second. That's less than the speed of sound. I can tell you that right now. So bing, bang, boom. Get out of here.
You know what I'm jazzed about today? More aliens, specifically the ones with mouths in their mouth. Xenomorphs from the Alien franchise, because Aliens Fireteam Elite is coming out. And this bad boy's set 23 years after the original Alien trilogy, and it drops your fire team of hardened Marines into a desperate fight to contain an evolving Xenomorph threat. It's a heart-pounding cooperative third-person survival shooter game where you and your fire team face off against terrifying Xenomorphs and Weyland-Yutani synthetic foes, if you remember those ones too, all across a series of replayable story campaigns. You'll have to master team strategy to survive extraterrestrial threats, aliens, who will strike from darkness and uncanny, valleys. And they're mean, man. You've seen an alien. You know these guys. Just look at their face. They're not nice. They're going to come at you with everything they got, right? So you have the ability to create and customize your own colonial marine, choosing from a variety of classes, weapon, gear, and perks. Plus, you'll get stunning visuals and effects, iconic enemies, and new storylines that expand upon the blockbuster film's universe. So, Aliens Fireteam Elite is available for purchase right now on PC, PS4, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, or Series S for $39.99 and $69.99 in its deluxe edition. Free upgrades from current gen consoles like PS1 and Xbox One to the next gen console are available as well, so you get that little bonus too. Go ahead and check it out. Aliens Fireteam Elite looks super sweet. Who doesn't want to shoot some aliens, right?
You would have to move
maybe you can tell.
I didn't even like the second. Why am I so invested in this? I don't even like the Punisher.
I don't know why.
Well, props to you for going full hog on
I was
this.
shocked by by the dishonesty of these arguments.
You care about
My
winning more
lord.
than Punisher, and I admire that.
That's true. That's true. He also had the War Machine's armor on. But
now that we've established that John Wick can teleport and that
not teleport.
Punisher is so weak he can't even knock out a bear that's been in the zoo.
So weak, he cannot knock out a bear. He stopped Captain America's shield from being thrown.
I think
a shield
that was
can
a good
saw
time.
through tanks when it's thrown. It can literally
We've heard a
saw
lot.
right through tanks.
We've heard a lot about Punisher. I think
Yeah.
now's a good time for John to kind of give us a closing statement on John Wick.
I don't know, John Wick might be immortal.
What are you talking about?
Here,
there's a comic book.
There's a comic, dude. I'm digging. I'm helping John here. I'm like, I try to back him up and like, look at he gets fucking shot. Like points.
Punisher was shot in the chest and then continued fighting for several days with bullets in his chest. It's like this.
Well, apparently this is what John is doing too, so they can both do that.
John also has a bulletproof vest. That's why he's able.
John did get stabbed in the side and continued the rest of the first film, and the second film is only
The
4 days after the
Sorry, go to the next.
There's a comic series
next
called
panel,
The
please.
Punisher Kills the Marvel Universe. The Punisher single-handedly took out the entire Marvel Universe by
again, that
himself.
goes back. Again, that goes back to the Arsenal thing, which
Yeah.
I feel like is getting into an area
God.
that might bend this a bit.
I'm
Obviously,
talking
if
about
Punisher
skill.
obviously if Punisher brings in the anti-Hulk like explosive device, he's gonna be able to blow up anybody.
But even physically, like he is just vastly. If you're able to fight like Spider-Man and Wolverine, that's better than anything John Wick had. Like just period. Like seriously, period.
But
like that's it.
I think
keep harping on the same point.
I think.
What do you mean we're harping on the same point? He physically. I'm not talking like gun. I'm talking.
Let John say his point.
Yeah, I think this is. I think when you put any kind of realistic human like John Wick, against a comic book character, straight from the comic books as opposed to like a film adaptation.
Yes.
Since Punisher has a much wider library currently than John Wick, and probably always will. I don't think John Wick is gonna create as much comic book content ever as Punisher. They'll stick more to
probably not.
Live action kind of stuff. I think it's the goldfish thing. You put a goldfish in a small pond, it's gonna stay small. Put a goldfish in a big pond, it's gonna get pretty big.
I know that's my point.
If John Wick had a similar universe to the Punisher, he'd be the same, if not equal. I mean, as a regular human being, without the super strength required to stop Captain America's shield from cutting you in half.
I'm with you on this.
Absolutely. Although I think you did bring up a point that I think was kind of glossed over. The first two films take place over a period of time where John Wick is fucked up.
Yeah.
And then he does the entire two films like that. And he's just able to do everything. So not only is he past his prime, he's also like seriously injured while he's killing over 300 people in less than 10 days.
I can kill over 300 ants with like a bullet in my chest.
You and this ant argument.
Because I'm establishing a comparison, right? Like he's fighting people that are way beneath Punisher's pay grade. So it's like yeah, he can kill over 300 people. That's really impressive, right? Well, relatively speaking, no. That's my counter, is what I'm saying.
All right.
But yeah.
Sure. Okay.
But to John's argument, if the argument is that John Wick needs to be placed in a universe where he could be potentially like given feats that were comparable to Punisher to stack up, I agree. But that admits that he's not, right? The
question is the question is if John Wick was in the same universe, he would be doing the same kinds of things. So this is
why we should have done Netflix Punisher.
Is he's trying. Your argument is less about the Punisher, more about the world he's in and how that affects him, which obviously matters. But that creates some complicated stuff.
That's just a meta thing. Like if you can just talk like the Punisher, just like the Punisher, these feats all apply to him. I'm saying that like I'm making that argument as like a meta thing. Like like John Wick is at a
the most
disadvantage.
important question is from chat and it's from Brawl Bro. Liam, why do you hate ants?
Why? We need them.
I love ants.
Ants are important, Liam.
I love them. I am merely saying that I would be able to kill many of them easily. I don't want to.
Wow.
I love ants, and ants are my friends. Ants climb all
Liam here.
My bed is actually, it looks like a bed. It's actually made of ants that have congealed into like a bed-like surface. I sleep with ants all the time.
I was about to bring up that you weren't talking about the insects, and instead you were talking about relations, but then that got weird.
Well,
this is getting really weird. So I think this is a really good time to back out of this and move on. If you haven't voted, please do so. You can type hashtag 1 for Punisher, hashtag 2 for John Wick, and we will get to that at the end of the show. Right now, it's time to talk about what is going on. So, I believe we have two things to show. Two battles. We got a fight scene from Dead Hand and a sneak peek of what's coming up in the upcoming Death Bat. So I want to start with Dead Hand and get a little bit more from you, John, and then we'll move on to the battle. So let's go ahead and check out this fight scene from John's upcoming film.
Edit not final.
Okay, this is ridiculous. Can we just use this?
Yes. Please.
Oh, you're no fun. Oh. I think you should do it.
Trigger discipline.
Fuck.
Every time, Owen. Every goddamn time. You almost shot me. You little shit. Wait.
Johnny, take it and run! No!
Hey.
Hell yeah, that was so good.
It wouldn't be a John McCullough fight scene if there wasn't a table break.
Fun, simple stunt. Put real glass on the table this time.
Oh, hell yeah.
Wow. That's incredible. Oh my god.
Dude, that looks so good.
That looks
thank
so
you, yeah.
cool.
Yes. So again, you could go support Dead Hand on Indiegogo. Just look up Dead Hand and you should be able to find it. We should have a link, Cody, if you can bring that back up.
Yeah, the Indiegogo goes live until probably around midnight on Saturday, September 11th.
Awesome. Please go check it out. Please give this guy some support.
Thank you so much, yeah.
Absolutely.
We definitely want to see this. That was fantastic. Oh my gosh, man. That reminds me. We talked a little bit about at the top of the episode about how you had helped out with some of the mocap for certain death metal fights. Like I believe it was Laura Croft versus Nathan Drake.
Laura Croft versus Nathan Drake and the Dante versus Bayonetta. I helped out with that one too, and little shots here and there for Torian.
The mocap in Dante Bayonetta is so unbelievably good. Like it's so great.
You should have seen them in their like blue and red ridiculous clown suits with like a helmet.
I believe there was a picture of you in the suit hanging off of a door.
I took it, dude. Yeah, that was me. I go in there and they're both like being, like all ridiculous. And then John's just being John, which like when John has energy, he's just like, I'm going to do something weird. And he's just like, he just jumped up and hung onto the door and looked at me. And so then I went and I took a picture. And it's like they're mocapping, and I didn't even think about it. And immediately there was some response. I think it was like the first response to the tweet was just like, they're doing Laura Croft versus Nathan Drake because they're hanging on stuff. And I was like,
what?
They're so good at figuring stuff out.
I know.
That was incredible.
I was blown away because I remember going to you, Ben. I was like, how? Like, I mean, I get it, but it's like that wasn't even, they weren't doing that as part of the mocap. That was just John being John because I was like, hey, what are you guys up to? And he's like,
yeah. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah. All right. So let's talk a little bit about Dead Hand. We will get into the sneak peek of Batman and Iron Man in just a little bit. But is there anything else you want to cover with Dead Hand, John?
we shot the thing. The big reason we're doing this project is one of the biggest hurdles for investors when approaching investors is, oh, hey, your pitch looks great, yada yada, so on and so forth. What else have you done? Oh, I've done these short films here and there. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, short films, that's nice. Call us when you've done a feature. And it's just like, how am I supposed to make a feature if you don't give me any money?
This job requires experience.
So
okay.
It came down to the point. I co-own a business called Spectrograph Films with my business partner Timothy Stevens, and it came down to this point when I was like, we keep hitting the wall. Like they're impressed with our pitches because we've done a couple of pitches now for some bigger budget films, but it's just like that we keep having this hurdle. Once we bring up like how we haven't done a feature before, they're like, okay, yeah, we'll mention your name. Never like, oh yeah, let's set up a meeting with my billionaire friend. So it's like we just got to make some feature films somehow, and so we both paid kind of out of our own pocket for each of our feature films. We shot his back in November, and we're done with his, and we're submitting his to festivals right now, and his is like a suspense thriller called The Ghost Lights, and you can see some like a trailer of it on our Instagram page. But right now we then shot my film, and we shot his film about 10 or 11 days, but for my film, since it's an action film, I knew we were going to have to take longer. So it was a total of 35 days of shooting, but over the course of 6 months, because after the first 9 or so days, it was like, well, we all still have day jobs, so we got to meet up on the weekends.
Oh yeah.
And then like one of our crewmates got COVID, not from our set. We made sure that everyone was tested and practicing safe on set. He got it from his day job, unfortunately. So we had to shut down production for like 2 months to make sure he, was alive and recovered. And so actually that fight scene we showed, there's a 2-month gap in the filming of that. Because so my apartment where we shot that scene in was just like frozen in time for a bit. But yeah, just
Thank God it wasn't after you broke the glass table, because that would have been really inconvenient.
I think it honestly might have been.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we made sure to frame it out of all the following shots.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically, I paid for everything out of my pocket. Luckily, my fiance, she has a lot of connections with restaurants, and so we were to get a lot of the food comps that saved on some costs. But I essentially spent about $5,000 to get through production, and that for a feature film, that is insanely cheap.
Yep.
And obviously, that's not accounting for the money I spent on the actual equipment itself. Which was
we'll spend more than that on certain death battle fights. Like
yeah, I can tell.
And he made a feature.
Yeah.
So
it's incredible what you're doing, man.
That being said, like, when it came time for post-production, it was like, like for some of the people, I can like work out like a deferred payment, and that's what we did with the cast and crew. We're on deferred payment, so that if the film does make money, then they understand that that's when they get paid. So they are kind of working for free up front. But so hopefully we can get some kind of distribution and get them some of their paycheck. But for the post-production aspect, it's a little more difficult to have people work for deferred payment. So I came up to this wall. I was like, well, I need to raise money for that. I don't have $10,000 to $20,000 another in my pocket to throw in this. So I'm gonna see what I can raise. We're at 9,000 right now. It's about 45%-ish of the goal. If we can get to at least 50%, I'll be covered on the straight up post-production fees. The other 50% of that was to cover some special features and like a cast and crew premiere at like an actual theater. So if we don't get that, that's cool. I'll work that out somehow. But if we at least get the film made, that's going to be.
Say that, everybody, please, please help them get that far.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with crowdfunding is like if you don't have a humongous following, it's really difficult. So I'm pretty happy that we've gotten this far with the small following that we do have.
It's really cool to see the support it's already got, and that's awesome. It's amazing that you've been able to make this work as much as you have. And in fact, on that note, we got to move a little quick here, but I did want to get one last thing. I know there are some people who watch Death Battle who are really into potentially making movies or projects like this in the future. As somebody who's been making these kinds of things for a while, short films, things like that, what's something really quick, the most important thing for people who want to get into this sort of industry, what you do, but don't really know where to start?
Two things. The first thing, when you're just on the pure ground level, is if you're interested in being a director at all, get a camera. Doesn't even have to be that crazy. I mean, Blackmagic's, their cameras are like $1,200, and that's what we shot this on. And it's a 4K cinema quality camera. Learn to be a director and cinematographer, and try to make friends who aren't flaky and who are passionate. That's the biggest thing for me, at least. Is a lot of my friends throughout the years have been like, show up and then they don't. And then the second thing is, one of the biggest things as a director is obviously you need to stay focused and make your crew stay focused, but no one likes an asshole. You know, have like a polite fist, so to speak. Like, all right, guys, we got to focus. Let's get this going, and not. We gotta do this. They're not going to work. They're not going to work for you especially if you're starting out and all you're paying them is with food. You got to find that balance of soft and sweet. You know, like you want them to like you. You want them to believe in the projects, but you also need to enact your vision.
All right. Well, I just dropped $100 on the Dead Hand Indiegogo. So if anybody
thank
wants
you so
to come
much.
with me, click that link. Even if you can give like $1, that really adds up. So
Definitely, thank you so
come
much.
with me and support if you
Absolutely.
guys can. Be financially responsible. I love you, John. Put me
I
in the
love you
next
too.
one.
All right. All right. I think that's amazing. Let's go ahead and jump into the sneak peek of what's coming up in next week's Death Battle: Iron Man versus Batman.
Hey, Bats! Now, I can respect a man with a healthy sense of paranoia and billions to spare, but Steve and Nat are really up my ass about this. Take the Watchtower offline now. Bruce.
You don't want this fight, Tony. It'll be the biggest mistake of your life. Clark, do you read me? The Watchtower is being attacked.
Seriously, Bats? I figured out hacking in the 2nd grade. How do you think I got in here? Aside from... Really, Bruce? This stick? I thought we were grown-ups here.
Ready when you are.
Oh
yeah. All right. Batman vs. Iron Man is coming out this weekend for first members. It's September 12th. And then September 13th, it will drop on the Death Battle YouTube channel. Be sure to check that out. All right. Let's get to the community death battle and wrap this up.
We already ran the graphics, so screw it.
So let's go ahead and just go into it. All right, community death battle. Punisher, John Wick. Let's get the votes. Well, no. First, we have to start with the votes from you guys and the comments from you guys. So let's go ahead and bring up the first Twitter answer.
And I hope you got your vote in because the poll has been ended.
Yep.
All right. This one comes from Corey Kasai. John Wick is nice and all, but Punisher at one point killed all of the Marvel Universe, in his own at least. John is on the same level as Punisher himself, more or less, and yet Punisher can handle people like Spider-Man and Wolverine. Okay, very similar to the argument.
I did want to bring up, somebody in the chat did mention that most of those kills did happen off screen. We don't actually know how that they came about. But let's go ahead and bring up the Twitter answer.
That one's like Thor.
The next one.
Yeah, this one comes from Apostle. The Punisher does have some incredible feats, but Frank Castle is still human. He'd probably win a hand-to-hand fight, but John only needs a single good shot to turn it in his favor. And with how methodical Wick operates, he's probably going to get that shot off. Wick gets the W.
All right.
There you go. This is like, both the tweets really supported the arguments of John and Liam.
Okay. I think there's a lot we can work with here. There's obviously the comic book angle that we can go with, but I do think that this is an interesting matchup that kind of presents other options against the comic book character. So let's go ahead and start the votes off with what you guys voted on in the Twitter poll. I'll bring that up. We've got very close.
Okay. That was way closer than I thought.
Punisher just edges out with 51% of the vote.
Whoa. Wowzers.
That's
That
way
was
closer
really
than
close.
I expected.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's because I fucking invoked it. I challenged the chat.
No, that was Twitter.
That was before. That was
Twitter.
Was that Twitter?
That was Twitter. I think.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, I guess that wouldn't have been. That was chat. I think they got
that was chat.
Oh. Okay, I think we got it flipped around then. Well,
back in time.
That's okay.
Right.
That was our chat. That was our chat poll.
That's all right. So chat poll, Frank barely edges out. All right. So we'll just end with the Twitter poll. That's fine. Okay. So, Chad, who are you voting for?
Oh, I think Liam was unnecessarily harsh to our wonderful guest, John. And also, I just want to see him get pissed off because he knows that I know better. So I'm going to vote for John Wick.
No, I've removed my ego from this. I'm in a state of zen. I'm not gonna be the dancing monkey and do my little Liam freak out that we all want to see.
Oh man,
it's not gonna happen.
Well, now I kind of want to vote for John as well. It's really this is really tough. I legitimately do see the argument for John Wick, but obviously, like, I do think Punisher is going to be able to have the edge more often than not. So I gotta realistically vote for Punisher, but I would be curious to look into this maybe a bit more. I'm sure there are some things from both characters that we're just not really covering.
We should have done Netflix Punisher. You know. It should have been Netflix
maybe.
Punisher.
I don't know. I don't know. I still think there's more to look at here, but either way, I'm voting for Punisher.
To go up against any comic book character.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Especially American ones, just so much crazy feats.
Yep.
Absolutely. But let's go ahead and bring up the last poll, the Twitter poll. See where we're at. Got 2-1. We have
or
Twitter poll?
Cody can just
or
say
not,
it.
or we let Cody decide.
I gotta look it up. No. I gotta look it up. I wrote.
I think Cody accidentally sent the chat poll in first, then he just left.
I will say, have you guys put John Wick in a death battle yet?
There
we go.
There.
Yeah, there we go.
Punisher takes the win with
still
59%.
40% for John Wick.
Yeah.
It's closer than, just a standard comic book versus non-comic book or even live action film matchup usually would be, I think. Which is really interesting. That does kind of make me kind of want to look into how Punisher might be able to fit in with characters like John Wick or McClane.
The Punisher fight I'd really love to do actually would be Judge Dredd. I think that because the thing about Judge Dredd, he actually has more appearances than the Punisher.
Oh wow.
Shockingly, right?
Really?
Yes. Yeah. He actually
Judge Dredd's
has
been around
more.
for a very long time.
No, I know, but like
every single issue.
Sorry, I do got to cut this off. We got to wrap up the episode. Achievement Hunter is coming up next. Again, shout out to Dead Hands Indiegogo. Please go check that out. John, thank you so much for jumping in this episode.
Yeah, having me.
Yeah.
The fight that you were arguing for seemed to be a little stacked because we went.
I still think they'd be best friends.
Oh, you're right.
I think so too.
I lost a dog. I lost my family. Okay.
Night of passion together.
Well, wow. Yeah, I mean, maybe.
And Liam made it weird in the last minute. Way to go, bud.
Thank you so much, everybody, for watching this. Oh my God, that totally threw me off.
Good.
All right.
I'm disappointed in myself for not doing that earlier.
Be sure to check out the other stuff from Spectrograph Films and man, I'm totally thrown off. What the fuck was I talking about? All right, Achievement Hunter is up next. So be kind to others, be kind to yourself, be awesome. See you next week.
Roll the death battle sneak peek one more time in case anybody missed it. Bye.
I love